combo class is low impact, no jumping around, and we're going to use resistance bands. We're going to use loops. So you're going to want a light one because for some of them we'll have them around our feet and we'll want a pretty big range of motion. And then you're also going to want a heavier one. For the first one, it's going to go around our thighs and maybe for the final combo as well. Other than that, the only piece of equipment you need is a stool or a chair or a high kitchen counter, something you can have your hands on for balance, because we will be in a sort of semi-lunge hinge position doing single leg work, and we'll want to be able to put our hands on something. So this is a build a combo class, but some of the combos are going to sort of remind you of our Pilates Mini Flows classes. So this is kind of a mashup of those. If you're new to the build a combo structure, basically over a short interval of time, we build a 3-part combination of moves. To start, you would just do movement A. Then you would do movement A plus movement B. Then you would do movement A plus movement B plus movement C, and then you would finish with movement C. When you complete that whole build-up, we rest before repeating. If there's unilateral work, you'll complete 4 sets. If it's all bilateral work, you'll complete just 3 sets. The length of our combos is going to vary slightly depending on what we're doing, but I'll have a timer going in the corner so that you know. In between each of the combos, I'll give you a full minute to recover, and during that time, I'll give you a preview of the upcoming exercises. We'll start class with a guided warm-up focused on mobility, and we'll finish up with a quick guided cool down. We don't need our band for the warm-up, just have it close by. Let's start in a cross-legged position. We're going to start with a cat-cow variation. So I want hands behind your head, elbows wide, and on an inhale, we're going to open up through the elbows. As we open up through the chest, gaze shifts up, we find spinal extension. And as we exhale, elbows are going to close in as we round forward. And don't just jam the chin down to your chest. Picture you're rounding up and over something. Inhale, extension. Exhale, flexion. We're inhaling through the nose, thinking of expanding 3-dimensionally into our rib cage. And then we exhale out through the mouth, ribs move gently in and down, engaging to that abdominal wall, a little lift to the pelvic floor. One more. And then I want you to stack the spine up tall to neutral. Arms are going to reach out to the side, palms face the floor. We're going to do a spinal twist, adding in 2 little pulses. So I want you to inhale to prepare. We're going to exhale, twist to the right, little release for 2, little release for 3. Inhale through center. On an exhale, take it over to the left, release for 2, little pulse for 3. Inhale through center. Keep that going. Back through center, it's slow. Don't bounce, it's a little release. 3, inhale through center, 1 more time each side. Grow tall. Last time to the left. Inhale through center, hands come down and behind you, and uncross your feet, bring those feet in front of you. I'm just going to turn to face the side. I want your feet about as wide as your mat, and we're going to do a controlled windshield wiper. So start by dropping the knees over to the left. Both knees touch the floor if possible, so you can let this hip lift up. Now we're going to windshield wiper them over to the right. You're going to start with the right knee though. Keep the left knee down. Open up the right knee as far as you can, keeping the left knee on the ground. And then when you can't go any farther, let that left knee lift up and bring it over to the other side. So start just the left, and then when you can't go any wider, let the right lift up. Side to side. Mobilizing through the hip joint. Let's do 1 more to either side. Come through center, feet can be sitting bones distance apart. Arms reach forward, find neutral. And on an exhale, we're going to roll through our lumbar spine, through the lower spine. So as you exhale, I want you to think of rolling your hip bones away from your thigh bones, the femurs, coming down just about halfway. And then inhale, just roll it up. So we call this pelvic femoral rhythm. And it's just that movement of your pelvis on the head of your femurs, your thigh bones. 2 more. And now vertebrae by vertebrae, I want you to roll all the way down to the mat. I'm just going to have to scoot forward. Arms down by your side. We're going to come into hip rolls. We have a little combo, and this is where we'll finish up our warm-up. So feet sitting bones distance apart. You can move them in a little closer, but not too close. Inhale to prepare, and as you exhale, we're going to start with that same roll, but then we're going to fire through the glutes and vertebrae by vertebrae. We're going to lift our hips up into our shoulder bridge position. Stay for an inhale, and then as you exhale, reverse it. Roll vertebrae by vertebrae down through the spine, come through neutral. Inhale to prepare. As you exhale, roll through the lower spine, press the feet into the floor, fire through the glutes, come to the top, and hold. Now staying at the top, we're just going to do a little swivel dip, so I just want you to drop your right hip an inch, press it back up. Left hip dips an inch and up. So we're twisting through the pelvis. Keep the other hip lifted as the other one drops an inch or two. Twisting side to side for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then vertebrae by vertebrae, roll, come through neutral. On an exhale, we're going to bring one knee at a time up to a tabletop position, and we're just going to go into some core activation work because our first combo is core focus, and we're just going to tap one foot at a time down to the floor. You're going to inhale, tap the toes down, exhale, bring back up. Alternate. Inhale to tap, exhale to lift up. So it's inhaling through the nose, you exhale, ribs move gently in and down, connect to that abdominal wall, leg lifts up. I want you to feel that abdominal connection before the leg moves. Now we're going to do both legs together. We're going to squeeze the inner thighs together when we do it, so knees will be touching. 2, last 1, both legs to tabletop, bring the legs together. We're going to do both at the same time. You probably are not going to touch the floor, okay? Only go as far as you can without excessive arching into your lumbar spine. So we inhale to drop, exhale, connect to the abdominal wall and lift. There shouldn't be doming, okay? The abdominals shouldn't be doming upwards. You should maintain that sort of widening, bracing feeling of the abdominal wall. Just 4 more, and then we're going to grab our band. Just establishing this connection to our abdominals. Last time. And 1 foot at a time, feet to the floor. All right, we're going to grab our band. You can grab our heavier one, and it's going to go around your thighs. I'm just going to show you a quick preview of this first combo. So with the band around our thighs in an ab curl position, legs at tabletop, externally rotated, so heels together, knees apart, so the legs kind of make a diamond shape. You're just going to extend those legs out straight, squeezing the inner thighs together, and then bend to open back up. Arms will be reaching forward. If you need support for the neck, though, hands behind the head. From there, we're going to come up into our V-sit position. Now, as you come up into that V-sit position, those externally rotated legs are going to rotate through parallel. The third and final addition is at the top in that V-sit position. You're just going to straighten the legs and try to reach those arms overhead as high as you can without flaring open through the ribs. The final 15 seconds, we're just going to hold that V-sit position. This is a 90-second combo. We go through it twice. Let's go. So we're going to find a neutral spine to start. If your low back starts bothering you, though, I would suggest finding an imprint position. Imprint is a slight posterior pelvic tilt. It's not a tuck, it's not that aggressive, but you just use the obliques to kind of bring your hip bones a little closer to the bottom rib cage. There's a lengthening through the low back. That will help prevent overarching, okay? Otherwise, neutral curves. We bring our knees up to tabletop. Heels squeeze together, knees wide, so we're externally rotated within the hip joint. And then we're going to find an ab curl position. You're not jamming your chin to your chest. This can be a gentle nod. Exhale, come up into thoracic flexion. First 15 seconds, legs are just going to straighten out and bend in, maintaining this external rotation. Let's go. Now I'm inhaling out and exhaling in because it's going to make the next part of the combo work a little better. You can do whatever breath pattern works for you, though, as long as you're breathing. We'll add in that crunch to the V-sit next. So when your legs are straight, we're now going to exhale, come up to balance behind those sitting bones, bend the knees in. Notice they're no longer externally rotated. I rotated to parallel. Inhale, lower down, external rotation, and then we bring them in. Keep going. The final addition here, we'll just straighten the legs and reach the arms overhead in our V-sit. Add it in. Come to balance And then you're going to straighten the legs. Arms are going to reach up. Bend and lower. We're going to finish with that V-sit hold. Hold. So you're scooped through the lower spine, back of the sitting bones, but try to extend, grow tall, lengthen through the thoracic. Arms don't have to be perfectly overhead, just as high as you can go, maintaining this alignment. And done. All right, 30 seconds to rest. All right, first set done. We're going to do that twice more. We come down onto our back. Now this is one, if your hips are getting really grippy, you might want to ditch the band, or you might want to eliminate that straightening of the legs at the top during that final part, okay? All right, let's do it. Knees up to tabletop, squeeze the heels together, knees wide. We're going to come into that ab curl position and just extend and bend through the knees. Let's go. Ab curl, gazes at your knees, legs straighten out and draw in. You're only extending them out as low as you can, maintaining neutral spine. If the back is peeling up, kick the legs up higher. We'll add in that crunch up to a V-sit. Exhale, come to balance behind those sitting bones. Stay open through the chest. Lower down. If moving from the external rotation to parallel is confusing, don't overthink it, okay? You could stay externally rotated the whole time. That's fine. Or stay parallel the whole time. We'll add in that extension at the top. Let's go. So next time you're in your V-sit position, legs straighten, arms reach up. Bend and lower. As always, as the combos start to get more complicated, don't stress if you mess it up. Just jump back in where you are. Okay, we're finishing with a hold. You're going to come up to that V-sit, bounce behind the sitting bones, legs straight, arms straight if possible, or keep knees bent. Whew, and rest, 30 seconds. All right, going to go through that just one more time. Neutral to the spine. Knees are going to come to tabletop. Oop. Heels together, knees apart, external rotation, ab curl position. And we're going to start by just extending those legs out to a hover, squeeze the inner thighs to midline and wide. If your neck bothers you, have your hands behind your head for these first 15 seconds. Add in that curl up to the V-sit. Thighs parallel in the V-sit. Externally rotated when your back is down. Add in the straightening of the arms next time you're in your V-sit. Legs straighten, arms reach up. Maintaining that scoop to the lower spine though. Final 15 is coming up. We'll hold at the top. All right, hold. Lengthen through the thoracic, the mid-spine, the cervical spine. Stay scooped through the lower spine. Oh, and done. All right, you have a minute to recover. I'm going to show you our second combo. I'm going to use my light band for this one, and we're just going to have it hooked around our thumbs. First exercise is going to be a push-up. You're going to have your feet in a wider stance than a normal push-up because the next move From that push-up position, we're gonna row on one arm. As we do, we're gonna drop the heels and we're gonna rotate open into a side plank position with those feet staggered. The third and final add-on, in that side plank position, you're gonna take your back or your bottom knee and you're gonna crunch it forward to a hover and then replace it, and we return to that starting plank position. And then the final 15 seconds, it'll just be that bottom knee crunching in and out. We're gonna complete 4 sets of this, alternating sides. Let's go. So I'm going to have the band around my left palm, and then I'm just gonna hook it around the right thumb, okay? And then we're gonna find a high plank position, so hands under shoulders, feet about as wide as your mat. We'll start with just push-ups. If you wanna modify, do these first 15 seconds, push-ups on your knees. You can do the push-ups from your knees the whole time if you'd like. Now the right elbow is gonna row, the heels will drop to the left hand will stay planted as we open up into that side plank. Let's go. So next time you're in your high plank, drop the heels, row with the right, side plank position. Come back to the balls of your feet, center off, 1 push-up. We'll add in that knee crunch. So next time you're in this side plank position, take your back left knee, crunch it forward, replace it back, return to your high plank. Always can modify from the knees for the push-up and then pop back up. Hold the row, left knee crunch, step it back, return to plank. Ditch the band if you need to. Whoop. All right, last 15 seconds, hold that row. Left knee crunches in and steps back. Keep reaching the hips up to the ceiling. Oh, and rest, 30 seconds. Woo. Okay, so we'll do that again. Switching sides. You can hook it around both thumbs. I just find that it's better anchored if I wrap it around my right palm and then just hook it with the left thumb like that. All right, we find that high plank position, push-ups to start. All right, let's do this high plank position. Feet can be about as wide as the mat or just like shoulders distance, but we'll start with just push-ups. Elbows back at a 45-degree angle. Exhale, press up. Active through the legs. Drop to your knees to modify. We'll add in that row now, okay? So heels are gonna drop to the right, left elbow rows to the ceiling, mirroring my side plank. Come to the balls of your feet, hand comes down, 1 push-up. Not gonna lie, guys, I drank way too much this past weekend, and I'm dragging ass today. We'll add in that crunch, it'll be your back right knee. Add it in. So next time you're in that staggered side plank, right knee, crunches in and forward. Replace it. We'll hold that side plank up next. Just the crunch of the knee. Let's go. Hold that side plank. Right knee crunches in. Step it back. Woo, and rest. Okay, 30 seconds. Now, a note, guys, if crunching that bottom knee in is too much, maybe you just hold the side plank for me. And because we're holding in this row position, the band is adding a challenge. So maybe you release the band, okay? Take that extra tension off and just do the last part body weight. Lots of ways to modify this to kind of slightly dial down the intensity. Okay, high plank position, other side. So the band is going to loop around my anchor, left palm, and then I'm gonna hook it in my right thumb. Push-ups to start, wider stance with the feet. Let's go. Ooh, I'm gonna be modifying from my knees for the rest. Don't get me wrong, this would be a hard set regardless if I had been a degenerate this weekend or not, but I'm just struggling extra hard. We're gonna add in that side plank. Right elbow rose, drop your heels to the left. Come back through center plank, 1 push-up. We'll add in that knee crunch up next. It'll be that back left knee crunching forward in our side plank. Add it in. Left knee crunches in and forward. Step it back. Return to plank. Final 15 seconds will just be that crunch. All right, final 15. Come to that side plank. Modification, release the band, okay? Bottom knee crunches in and back. Really push the mat away, stay active with the side body. Hips keep reaching up. Oh, and done. 30 seconds to rest. All right, we just have to do that one more time on the other side. We can do it. 90 seconds, and we'll be standing. So again, the right hand will be your anchor. The left elbow, the left arm will be the rower. I like to wrap around the palm on that stationary right side and then hook on the left thumb. You could hook both thumbs, do whatever works for you. Kind of just depends on how heavy your band is. Plank or modified plank position. First 15 seconds, push-ups. Let's go. Inhale on the way down. Exhale up. That connection to your abdominals is so important. Stay long for the back of your neck. Left elbow will row, heels will drop to the right. Let's go. Heels drop to the right, left elbow rows up, come into your side plank. Return, knees down. If you want to keep your knees down the whole time, just windshield wiper and row like this, and I would recommend lifting up that top knee and then come down. 1 push-up. Modified plank row, okay? We'll add in that knee crunch. If you're able to add it in, again, you can always modify and just eliminate it. It'll be that back right knee coming in. So add it in. Next time you row, right knee crunches forward. Step it back. Return to plank. 1 push-up. Whew, my arms are trembling. You have 30 seconds to go in this combo, okay? We'll be standing up next. All right, final 15 seconds. Come to that side plank position. Just the back knee row crunches in and out. To modify, release the band. I'm going to do that. Oh, and done. Find a child's pose. You have about a minute to recover. I'm going to show you combo number 3. So the band is going to be around the ankle of one foot and the arch of the other foot. And we're going to use our chair, stool, kitchen counter, whatever, so that in a semi-lunge position, we can have our hands lightly on it for balance. First exercise, in that kind of semi-lunge position, we're just going to extend that back leg, pressing it back, and then bending the knee in, pushing against the resistance band. From there, we're going to add in a straight leg sweep. So when that leg is extended behind us, we're going to sweep it out laterally to the side at a low hover. You're going to sweep it back, crunch it in and out. The final add-on is going to be a tap down and up when the leg is out to the side. So you'll just tap the mat and then lift it. The final 15 seconds will just be that tap and lift. It's deceptively hard, so you might want to shake off the resistance band those last 15 seconds. 4 sets, twice on each side. Intervals are a little longer. Let's go. So let's start with the band around the ankle on our left leg. So the left foot will be our base foot. And then we're going to put it around the arch or the ball of that right foot. So left leg stabilizer, right leg will be the mover. Hands lightly on that stool. Square off through the hips. Bring that back right foot to a hover. And to start with a flexed foot, you're just going to drive that right leg back and you're going to bend it in. We're here for 20 seconds. Keep reaching back through the hips, okay? So I want this knee, this stationary left knee over the heel, not over your toes. We'll add that straight leg sweep up next. Next time that leg is straight, hold it straight. You're going to sweep it out and up to the right. You're going to sweep it back. You're going to bend the knee in and send it out. So the right leg is our mover, and we are definitely working mobility and strength through this right hip joint. But this stationary leg, your left side, that's where you're really going to build up a good burn. Well, both legs, but stationary side should feel it. Equal length through both sides of the waist, so keep reaching this left hip back as the leg sweeps forward and back. And get ready to add in that tap when the leg is to the side. So next time that right leg is out to the right, you're going to tap the foot to the floor. You're going to lift it up as high as you can. It probably won't be very high, and then sweep it back. When I do that tap and lift, I'm doing it with a flexed foot just to give myself a little more space. Tap, lift, sweep it back. The final 20 seconds will just be that tap and lift. Maybe you keep the band on, maybe you shake it off. Okay, let's do it. Final 20. Sweep that leg out to the right, tap and lift. When you tap the mat, don't transfer weight into it. Keep reaching the hips back. Keep that little bend to the left side. You're not locked out. Woo, and rest, 30 seconds. All right, so I'm going to give you the option. Do you want to do the next set staying with the left side as your base side, or do you want to alternate? I like to really go for burnout with the legs. So me personally, I'm going to do another set, same side before I switch. If it's a little too much though, I want you to alternate, okay? And you would just switch the position of the feet. Otherwise, spread out through the left toes, ground down through the foot, shift your hips back, hands lightly to the stool, right foot out of hover. We'll start with that bend and press. You press against the band and bend it in. Now, when you press that leg back, there's no arching into your lower back. So don't feel like the leg has to be super high. Think about it. Our torso is at an angle. It's not parallel to the floor, so I don't need your leg to be parallel to the floor on this. We'll add that straight leg sweep. Let's go. Next time that leg is straight, you sweep it forward. You sweep it back. You bend it in. You have 2 minutes of work to go. Well, less than that now, but 2 minutes and then we're done with the side. Notice if any rotation through the pelvis is wanting to happen. Don't let one hip hike forward, okay? So you're gonna have to keep taking that stationary left hip and kind of reaching it back and long. I don't care how high the leg is on that sweep, but try to keep it hovering off the ground. Add in your tap. When it's out to the side, tap the mat, lift, and sweep. Bend, press, sweep, lower, lift. You got it. You have 40 seconds remaining of work on this side. Final 20 is coming up. I'm definitely going to ditch the band for it. It'll be that tap and lift. Okay, leg is out to the side. You tap and lift. Lifting as high as you can without dumping all your weight over the left. So maybe you even take that left hand off the chair to help yourself stay centered. Reach the hips back. Neutral through the spine. Oh, and done. 30 seconds to rest. Okay, we're going to do that same thing twice on the other side. I'm going to move the chair just so I have space, but all you have to do is switch the feet. So now the band is going to go around your right ankle, and it's going to go around the arch of your left foot. So right leg stabilizer, left leg is the mover, and you're about an arm's distance away from that chair. Square your hips to it. Send those hips back, so semi-lunge position on this right side. Left leg out of hover, and you're going to press it back, keeping the hips level to the floor and bend it in. Now, while, you got all your weight on the supporting side, we don't want to totally lean over to that supporting side. At any time, if you find yourself leaning over to the right, remove your right hand from the chair. Add in that straight leg sweep. So next time that left leg is straight, you're going to sweep it up and out to the left. You're going to sweep it back. You bend it in and press it. So we just worked this left leg a lot. So you might feel it working or feel it burning a little more on this side than the previous side. And that is normal, okay? We're at a deeper level of fatigue here. Now, if you look down at your right foot, the knee should not be eclipsing the toes. So again, keep sliding those hips back. Add in the tap. When that left leg is out to the left, you tap, you lift. It doesn't have to be big. You sweep it back. So I said at the start of class, this build a combo has some some Pilates Mini Flows qualities to it. You have seen these movements before in those Pilates Mini Flows classes. Sorry, I keep fidgeting with the stool. The dog bed is in the way per usual, but I cannot disturb a sleeping pup. We'll finish with just that lift and lower. All right, let's go. Sweep that left leg out to the left, foot is flexed, tap, and lift. 20 seconds. Reach the hips back, get a little lower on your right side. If you're leaning, remove the right hand. You can always ditch the band. Whew, rest, 30 seconds. Okay, we got to go through that just one final time. Staying on the same side, or if you've chosen to alternate, switch the placement of the band, okay? Let's find that hinge position. Slide the hips back. Hands lightly on your prop. Left foot at a hover. Bend and press to start. Drive that foot back. When you drive the foot back, don't roll open through the pelvis, so keep reaching this left hip forward, even as the left leg goes back. Add in the straight leg sweep. Sweep it up and out to the left. Trying to stay at a hover, sweep it back. No rotation through the pelvis, no crunching through the side obliques as that leg sweeps. Add in that tap. Lower, lift, sweep it back, crunch it in. So when we do this, picture there's a resistance band around your hips as well and attached to a wall behind you. So there's this constant pulling of the hips back. You got it. You have 40 seconds remaining in this combo. For the final 20, it's just that tap and lift. I'm going to ditch the band for it. If you're feeling strong, keep the band on. Okay, let's go. Tap and lift to finish. Left foot taps and lifts. Maybe you take that opposite hand away so you don't lean all your weight over to the side. Don't worry about how high up the leg gets. Keep reaching the hips back. Oh, and dud, shake it out. All right, we have one combo to get through. I'm going to show you a preview. You have a full minute to recover. I'm going to go back to my heavy band for this one. It's going to be around our thighs. We finish up with a little squat challenge, and we're going to go back to a 90-second work interval, so a little shorter than the last one. First up, you're in a low squat position, and you're just going to do a little side step, side to side. Notice I'm just slightly bringing the ball of my foot out to the side, focusing on that stationary side. Second movement you add in is when the feet are both centered. You're going to give me a calf raise, staying low in that squat. So knees are bent, heels lift, and lower. Third and final move will be a pulse with the heels lifted. So you may want your chair In fact, I would encourage you to have that close by so you have a little balance assistance, because those final 15 seconds will be holding the heels up high, and it'll just be that pulse down and up. All right, we're gonna go through this one 3 times and then you're done with your workout. Let's go. So band is gonna be around your thighs. At any point, if the band's too much, ditch it. We're gonna find a squat position, so feet about hips distance apart. You're gonna hinge at the hips, sending them back. This doesn't have to be your lowest squat ever, okay? We'll start first 15 seconds just tapping side to side. So ball of the foot taps to the side, step it back, other way. So this is an intentional movement. We're focusing on the stationary knee and pushing out against the band so it doesn't wobble inward as we step to the side. We'll add in a calf raise up next when both feet are centered. So when both feet are centered, you're going to lift those heels up, lower them down, 1 step to each side. When you lift up in the calf raise, think of gently squeezing in to midline without rolling in. But picture there's like a ball or a block between your thighs. Coming up, we'll add in a pulse when the heels are lifted, so you might want to bring your hands to your stool. So add it in when the heels are lifted. You pulse down and up. Drop the heels. Step to the side. 1 each side. Lift those heels, pulse down and up. When you're doing that calf raise, make sure you're pressing down through your big toe, okay? Big toe is helping you stabilize. So the final 15 seconds is just gonna be that pulse in the calf raise. I'm gonna bring my hands to the stool so I can really stay low in it. Okay, so heels lifted, pulsing down and up, down and up. Keep pressing gently out on the band. If this bothers your knees, you can do it with your heels down. Woo, rest, 30 seconds. All right, going through that twice more. We'll start with just that step to the side to side, alternating. Let's find our squat position. Neutral through the spine, open through the chest. Tap it, step to center. Tap and center. So you have 90 seconds straight in a semi or low squat position. Add in the calf raise. Heels lift and lower. 1 tap to either side. So calf raises are important. There are 2 main muscles in your calf, soleus and gastroc. One of them is dominant when you're doing a calf raise with straight legs, and the other is dominant when you're doing calf raise with bent knees. So it's important to mix in work with bent leg calf raises as well as straight leg calf raises. Focusing on bent today. All right, add in that pulse when the heels are lifted. Down a couple inches, up a couple inches, lower the heels. You can use that stool if you need it. Toes are stabilizing. Notice what your ankles are doing. Don't let them buckle outwards. Final 15 seconds coming up. Just that pulse with the heels lifted. I'm going to turn to face my prop. All right, heels lifted. Pulse down and up. Woo. How low can you go in that pulse? If you're using your stool, try to keep your hands light, okay? Oh, rest. All right, 1 more set of those. You got it. Cool down is on the other side of that 90-second stretch. Side taps to start. Down to your squat, let's go. Again, it doesn't have to be your absolute lowest squat, but think reaching those hips back, open through the chest. So we have kind of this interesting play between outer and inner body here, our sides of our body. We're pressing out gently on the band, add in the calf raise, but when we do the calf raise, we're not letting it completely buckle open. So there's that pull inward and that push outward. really focusing on this idea of stability, the balance between those two. Add in the pulse at the top. Heels lift, press down through the toes, pulse down an inch, up an inch, lower the heels. So I'm going to try to do the final 15 seconds this time without using my stool. Woo! Maybe not. Actually, my ankles just rolled out on that one. If you're rolling all over the place with the ankles, use your stool, okay? Better to keep the form on point. All right, hold those heels lifted, pulse down and up. So maybe I'll try taking one hand away. Maybe both, if I can do so without rolling through the ankles. Whew. And done. Awesome work. Kick off that band. Let's cool it down. Great work with that one. So let's start with an outer hip stretch. I'm just going to sit on my couch for it, but you can do it seated on the ground if you don't have a couch or a lower chair nearby. We'll take a figure 4 stretch. So I'm just going to take my left ankle over the right thigh. I'm going to sit up tall, and then I'm just going to hinge forward. When I can no longer hinge forward, I'm going to just round forward over that leg. I'm going to take it over to the other side. Right crosses over left. Start sitting up tall. Think of hinging forward. And then when I can no longer hinge, I'm going to round forward. We're going to come to seated. If you're on the floor, you can do this cross-legged. You're going to interlace the fingers first in front of you. You're going to flip the palms, press the palms forward, rounding. So coming into that spinal flexion, and with every inhale, just think of breathing into the space between your shoulder blades. Expand into that mid-back. Blow it out one more. And then we're going to do the opposite. Interlace the fingers behind your back. Press the knuckles back. Chest opens up. Gaze shifts up. One more. Then I want you to bring your feet wide. Hands can come to the inside of, or forearms can come to the inside of the thighs. You can do this in a squat position if you don't have something to sit on. I just want you to dip one shoulder down at a time. So you got a nice stretch through the groin area and through the shoulders actively. And we're going to finish with a feel-good movement. Bring the toes to point forward. We're going to straighten the legs, coming into a forward fold. And then I want you to grab opposite elbow with opposite hand, unlock, soften through the knees, and let's just sway side to side. A little release here, some freedom of movement. One more to each side. And then I just want you to settle in the center. Maybe it feels good to keep your hands locked on your elbows like this. Maybe you release the arms and let them dangle. Let's take one deep breath here. Exhale, release. And then vertebrae by vertebrae, you're going to roll it up to stand. And that is your class. Awesome job.